Mr. Bheki Ntuli, who is the coordinator of the eThekwini ANC region, and the position of coordinator is akin to that of the secretary, and that's the person that basically runs the day-to-day activities of the party, including making sure that the branches are in good standing, particularly when it comes to conference situations. Mr. Ntuli, good morning to you, and thank you very much for making the time to talk to us. So, the skepticism here between myself and Zianda is that this conference, whether it is successful or not, will be determined at a very early stage, and that is at the registration phase, which is called, in your conference, the credentials stage. Will it move beyond that?
Good morning to you, and good morning to the viewers at home. Thanks for hosting us. I think we can confidently say to you that the manner in which we have started the process, we have dealt with all the disputes. If there are any that are left, they must be very few. So that's why we are saying we can say to you with confidence, the conference preparation have been going on very well. We have been dealing with the challenges, and we've got the capacity to deal with all the problems that may come up as we move on. So we can clearly say to you, the conference will be completing with the registration today, and tomorrow the conference will continue, and it will close on Sunday, because we can see that we've got only very minor challenges that we might be facing.
All right, let's talk about those minor challenges, because you might call them minor challenges, and it turns out they actually completely collapse the conference. How many disputes do you still have to deal with right now?
At the level of the region, we have dealt with all the disputes. Last night we completed all of them, and we know there might be around about 2 branches which are still at a national level, where we've got your National Dispute Resolution Committee. We are told by midday today, the National Dispute Resolution Committee will give us the full report, which means all the disputes will be resolved by midday today.
Are you able to tell us who the top contenders for the position of chairperson are?
Judging by the reports that we have been receiving when we are deploying RTT members to go and officiate in the branch general meeting that have been taking place, where nominations were taking place, even though we haven't opened the box, we can say we've got Comrade Thabani Nyawose as one of the 2 who have been nominated quite a lot of times. And we've got Comrade Zandile Gumede, who has been nominated quite a number of times as well. But at this juncture, we will be able to give the exact figures once we are done with the Credentials Committee, and we've got the election as an agency that is running the nomination process.
I've got to thank you for your honesty, leveling with us, because that then allows us to speak with much more definitive approach about Zandile Gumede's participation in this conference. In fact, not just participation, but her being nominated for the position of chairperson despite the issues that trouble her right now. Why should people of eThekwini still believe in the African National Congress if it can field, or if its members can nominate such a person?
I think at this juncture, we cannot say whether they are going to eventually vote for her and she's going to emerge.
Yeah, but she's participating. Her mere participation is a problem.
What we can say in terms of the morality of the ANC has taken a bold step. That if you are involved in crime or you are undergoing any court processes, which we think might jeopardize the image of the African National Congress, you must step aside. I think in terms of being clean and being proper and being a proper leader who can lead in the society, and being a person that we cannot be ashamed of when we are standing in front of the society and say, this is the leader of our movement.
Yeah, all right.
Whether the majority of the people will side with her or not, let's wait until the end of Saturday, where we'll see where does the majority of the African National Congress people stand.
Mr. Ntuli, part of the reason why South Africans will probably look very keenly to the outcomes of this conference is in part because of the size of the region, it has a lot of influence. Confirm for South Africans where the eThekwini region stands when provinces, for example, like Mpumalanga, and we heard in Limpopo, which hosted the ANC January 8, endorsing the current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, to be returned as leader of the party. Where might the eThekwini region stand here?
I think for now it won't be easy to judge whether the ANC in the eThekwini region will endorse the second term for President Cyril Ramaphosa, because that might be us jumping the gun. But we'll be having the delegates convened from tomorrow at ICC. I think by the end of Saturday, they might make some pronouncement around the coming conference. But what we know for now is that regions are now allowed to make pronouncement or allowed to discuss around the issue of the provincial conference. We have been told that around August, every member of the ANC will be allowed to engage, will be allowed to discuss around the issue, will be allowed to discuss around the issues of the national conference, which will be in December. I think for now, those provinces who are saying whether they will support President Cyril Ramaphosa is their decision. But what we have been informed is that from August, we'll be able to start discussing around the issue of the president.
All right.
He might be having a support in eThekwini, but I don't think this juncture is the time that we can firm.
All right. So in simple language, these provinces have jumped the gun. Let me ask you this final question then. The provincial conference you are alluding to, you have said that the region is allowed to discuss what might they want to come out of that particular conference. We know that the current chairperson, Sihle Zikalala, might have possibly two contenders for this position. What kinds of discussions are going on around who is going to take the ANC province forward between Sihle Zikalala, Nomusa Dube-Ncube, and the last person there is the eThekwini mayor, who is being punted for this position as well. That's the current mayor there. His name skips my mind now, and he'll probably be very angry with me. But continue, sir.
Yeah, I think I might agree with you. We know that Comrade Sihle Zikalala has done a good job in the province. There are a lot of branches who are feeling that you must still come back again when we are just having informal discussions. And then from in the eThekwini region, we have been busy with the nomination for the regional conference. But of course, some discussions have already started. But immediately after this conference, as the region will start involving the branches, we'll be requesting them to sit, to have engagements, to convince each other as who will be the proper candidate to take the job. But what must happen is that to assess the work that has been done by the current leader and see what are the shortcomings that were there, what are the good things that the current leader has been doing, and see if you look at the challenges that we're facing in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, then decide who do you think is a comrade with a caliber that will be able to deal with the challenges that we're facing as a province.
All right. That's Bheki Ntuli.
Our branches in eThekwini will be done by the regional issues, and then they'll be focusing on that matter immediately after this conference. And I think once the PGM start to sit, we'll be able to tell you, frankly, who do we think will be suitable for this position.
That's Bheki Ntuli, the coordinator of the ANC in the eThekwini region. Thank you very much for your time, sir.